Dear brothers and sisters, let us begin with a moment of silence, a moment to breathing, to listening, to let our hearts become still. Pause. There is a word that often goes unnoticed in a world so quick to judge, so eager to divide. That word is mercy. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is not forgetting. Mercy is the strongest force in the heart of God. And when we allow it into our own hearts, something extraordinary happens. The world begins to change, not through grand speeches or mighty acts, but through the quiet revolution of compassion, person by person, heart by heart. Let me tell you a story. There are wounds we carry that no one sees. Wounds of betrayal, wounds of loneliness, wounds from words that cut deeper than a knife, and silences that echo with rejection. Some wounds are old. We've lived with them so long they feel like part of us. Others are fresh and still itching when we breathe. Mercy does not pretend those wounds are not there. Mercy does not cover them with platitudes or rushes past our pain. No, mercy kneels beside us. Like the Good Samaritan on the road to Jericho, it binds what is broken, pours oil and wine on the wounds, and stays close until healing begins. Sometimes we think we must be perfect before we are loved, but Jesus never waited for perfection. He touched the leper before the leper was clean. He forgave the thief while he was still hanging on the cross. He did not ask for credentials, only openness, only faith, only a heart willing to be met. So many people today suffer in silence. The mother who hides her tears because she cannot feed her children. The elderly man in a nursing home who hasn't received a visit in years. The teenager who feels invisible. The prisoner who has been forgotten. The addict who believes they are beyond redemption. To these, mercy says, you are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are loved. And when those words are spoken not just by lips, but by a presence, a listening ear, a hand that reaches out, healing begins. Not all at once, not without struggle, but it begins. We are not called to fix everything, but we are called to be near, to walk with those who suffer, to weep with those who weep. And sometimes that is enough. More than enough. Let us ask ourselves, whose wounds have I ignored? Whose pain have I turned away from because it made me uncomfortable? Let us ask for the grace to be people who not rush past the suffering, but who stop, who stay, who dare to love. Because mercy heals not only the wounded, it heals us too. When we allow ourselves to feel another's pain, we begin to find our own hearts again. We rediscover what it means to be truly human. And so I invite you, be the presence that heals. not with many words, but with love, not with power, but with gentleness. Let your life speak mercy. Let your heart be a place where wounds are not shamed, but embraced, where healing can finally begin. To see with the eyes of the heart is not simply to look, it is to perceive as God sees. The heart sees differently than the eyes. The eyes can pass by. The eyes can be distracted, hurried, indifferent. But the heart lingers. The heart notices. The heart bends down. Jesus never looked with just his eyes. When he saw the widow placing 2 small coins in the temple treasury, he saw more than an offering. He saw her love, her sacrifice, her pain. When he looked at the rich young man, the gospel tells us, he looked at him and loved him. He saw beyond the surface, beyond the wealth, into the deep yearning of a soul searching for something more. This is how mercy sees. In our cities, in our towns, how many people are unseen? The man sleeping on cardboard outside the cafe, the migrant mother on the bus clutching a child, not knowing where to go next, the woman behind the counter who forces a smile but carries an unbearable sadness within her. Do we see them? Or do we pass by? To see with the heart means to look without judgment. It means to look and not measure, not label, not compare. It means to see a person, not a problem, a neighbor, not a nuisance, a brother, not a burden. And this kind of seeing changes us. It humbles us. It draws us out of ourselves. When we allow our hearts to truly see, we begin to feel the weight others carry, and in that shared weight, we find communion. We are no longer strangers. We are family. How often Jesus stopped simply because he saw. He saw Zacchaeus in the tree. He saw the woman reaching out in the crowd. He saw the blind man shouting by the roadside. And in seeing them, he restored their dignity. Let us ask for the grace to see as he saw, to pause, to notice, to care. Let us not become so busy that we fail to see the face of Christ in those around us. For mercy begins with a gaze that says, you matter, you are loved, I see you. And so I gently invite you, open your heart's eyes, look around, not just with your sight, but with compassion. In every person you meet today, try to see not who they appear to be, but who they are in the eyes of God. And if you dare to see this way, even once the world will already begin to change, there is a quiet, transformative power in mercy that softens the hardness of our hearts and tears down the walls we have built around ourselves and our communities. In our lives, we build walls, misunderstanding of fear and of pride, walls that separate us from one another. But mercy, with its gentle touch, is always there to remind us that no barrier is too high to be broken down. Think for a moment of the old, a crumbling stone wall that once divided two neighborhoods for years. It was a symbol of separation, of differences that seemed insurmountable. Then, one day, a group of neighbors, full of compassion and courage, gathered with nothing more than simple kindness and honest hearts. They began to dismantle that wall, stone by stone, inviting each other into conversation, into friendship, and into shared meals and laughter. Mercy was the mortar that rebuilt their connection, transforming a barrier into a bridge. This is the work of mercy, subtle yet powerful, spoken through acts that break down every wall of division. Jesus, our dear teacher, often moved among those cast aside by society. When he encountered the outcast or the sinner, he looked beyond a person's mistakes and a soul crying out for understanding, for love. When he dined with those shunned by others, he was not just breaking bread, he was breaking down the walls of isolation, inviting them into a community of belonging and hope. It is in our everyday encounters, at the market, in the park, on busy city streets, where our small acts of mercy can dismantle walls that keep neighbors apart and deepen the bonds of fellowship. Consider the story of a woman who had long felt estranged from her family because of past wounds and grudges. One day, she reached out with an olive branch, a handwritten note, a gentle phone call, and slowly, those invisible barriers began to crumble. In that tender moment, mercy spoke louder than words, showing that love can heal old wounds and open new paths to reconciliation. Let us then be brave. Let us dare to knock on closed doors and approach those behind walls of silence and sorrow. Let us be tireless in our efforts to break down every barrier that denies the simple true thing, that each one of us is made in the image of a loving God. For when mercy leads our actions, every stone removed brings us closer to a more compassionate, united world. Open your heart and join in this sacred task. Each act of mercy, however small, is a testament to our shared humanity, a call to transform not only our lives, but also the world around us. Mercy begins not in distant places or dramatic gestures. Mercy begins with me, with you, with the ordinary moments of each day, the quiet ones that often pass unnoticed. It begins in the way we speak to one another at the breakfast table, in the patience we offer when someone interrupts our plans, in the silence we choose when words would only wound. It is not something reserved for saints or heroes. Mercy is a path that we are all called to walk, right where we are. How easy it is to talk about a better world. How tempting it is to say that others must change. Leaders, systems, neighbors. But the gospel always starts with the heart, with conversion, with the question, am I allowing mercy to shape my own life? There is a mother who rises early each morning to care for her children, though her body aches from the day before. Her hands are worn, her strength limited, but she gives what she has. She chooses love again and again. There is mercy there. Quiet, faithful mercy. There is a man who forgives his brother after years of silence. Not because the wound has disappeared, but because he longs for peace. He sets aside pride, picks up the phone, and says the first word. There is mercy there. Courageous, healing mercy. Jesus never said, go change the world and then come follow me. He said, love your neighbor. He said, forgive 70 times 7. He said, whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. And this love, this forgiveness, this small and constant service, it changes everything. Not all at once, but in slow, patient ways that shape our homes, our communities, our hearts. Let us not wait for the perfect moment. Let us not wait for someone else to go first. Mercy begins with me, with a smile, with a kind word, with the willingness to begin again. And so I invite you gently, but clearly, look to your own life, to your own hands, your own voice, your own daily steps. What mercy can you offer today? Whom can you forgive? Whom can you lift up? Let it begin with you. Let it begin now. And let it continue day by day until love becomes the rhythm of your life. When we act with mercy, something beautiful happens, something sacred. The invisible God becomes visible, not in fire from heaven, not in loud miracles, but in the quiet gestures of love, in the tenderness of a mother wiping the tears of a sick child, in the patient listening of a volunteer who sits beside someone no one else will visit, in the dignity restored to a man offered work instead of charity, hope instead of pity. In these moments, the world sees not just a good person, it sees a reflection of God. Mercy is the face of God turned toward us, a face that does not look away from our weakness, but draws closer, a face that forgives even before we ask, that believes in us when we no longer believe in ourselves. When we show mercy, we reflect that same faith, not perfectly, not always consistently, but in real and transforming ways. In those moments, the light of heaven touches the earth. How many people today feel invisible? The elderly woman no one calls, the refugee child with no home, the man addicted to substances who has stopped hoping for tomorrow. These are not statistics. They are Christ in disguise. And when we show them mercy, not just through programs, but presence, we are revealing the heart of the gospel. And not a message of rules, but a message of encounter. A love that sees, that touches, that restores. You do not need to be powerful to reflect the face of God. You need only to be willing to notice, willing to care, willing to love without expecting anything in return. Let this be our prayer, that when others see us, they may catch a glimpse of something greater. Not because we are good, but because we allow God's mercy to pass through us. Like sunlight through a stained glass window, imperfect yet radiant. And so I ask you gently, yet with all my heart, let your life become a window of mercy. Let your hands carry the compassion of Christ. Let your eyes shine with His tenderness. The world is longing for that light. Be not afraid to shine. Be not afraid to show the world the face of mercy. My dear brothers and sisters, we have spoken of mercy, not as an idea, but as a way of living, a way of seeing, a way of loving that has the power to transform hearts and heal the world. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is not naivety. Mercy is strength, quiet, enduring strength that breaks chains, builds bridges, and brings hope where hope has faded. Let us never grow tired of mercy. Let us never believe the lie that the little we do does not matter, because every act of compassion, every moment of forgiveness, every hand extended to the poor, the lonely, the forgotten, these are seeds of resurrection, seeds of a new world, a more human world, a more holy world. Do not wait to begin. Begin today. Begin with the person beside you. Begin with the wound in your own heart. Begin with a neighbor who needs to be seen, heard, and loved. And when you fall, as we all do, let mercy lift you up again. When you are tired, let mercy renew your strength. When you are discouraged, remember that the light of even one candle can chase away a room full of darkness. The world needs your light. The world needs your heart and needs your mercy. So go now with courage, with tenderness, with faith. Be merciful as your Father in heaven is merciful. Love boldly, forgive freely, live gently, and let your life speak of the one who is mercy itself. Good luck on the journey ahead. And from the depths of my heart, thank you. Thank you for listening, for reflecting, for choosing to love. May God bless you and guide your every step in mercy and peace.